Do you think it will be possible to like eventually walk them together on walks and stuff, or is it just better? I only asked because the woman I was working with before said that it wouldn't be possible. Yeah, I mean, I was like thinking about giving one of my dogs away. I was thinking, you know, it's just like disaster.
Every single little piece that we're talking about right now is going to make your relationship better with your dog. Every piece.
I mean, there's nothing like worse than knowing how much time, energy, money I've invested already into training, and knowing that if anyone sees me walking down the street with my dogs, they're gonna think I haven't bothered to train them at all.
All right, you guys, so here's another dog. I am so grateful for the opportunity to work with dogs like this and clients like this, but this is yet another dog coming in where they've worked with a past trainer that either said, get rid of your dog, this is never gonna work, this is impossible, you have to avoid, this is your life. And we've completely, in our out-of-state program, in our 2-day program, changed the view, changed the perception of the dog, changed the success of the dog. Dogs aren't fully trained, there's still a lot of work to do, but we're giving the owner hope, where at one point, she was given no hope by other people. So I'm really excited for this video and all the other videos that we've been doing the last couple weeks of changing people's lives forever. I'm excited for you guys to check this video out.
I'm moving from Manhattan to upstate because where I was living, it was like every time I would walk her, her anxiety would just be so crazy. And in the beginning with her, I didn't, you know, set really any boundaries or rules, and I kind of just treated her like a friend. And that was a huge problem, obviously, a huge mistake, because now we don't really have, like, she's not paying attention to me on walks at all. She's just like fearful of everyone and everything. And so I like to shift my role into she's paying attention to me. We have like, you know, she's checking in with me. She really doesn't unless I have food. And the thing is, when I take her outside and she sees a kid running down the street, she doesn't care if I have chicken. And then Hazel's really friendly and great with new people. I don't walk the dogs together because they don't listen to me.
So you did training with Scout with 2 other trainers. Were the both trainers just positive only? They didn't try to do anything about the bad behavior at all?
Yeah, her approach was just positive reinforcement with food, and for me that wasn't. I want to learn more about how to strengthen our relationship and also how to properly use like the collar, and which I don't really know how to properly use, so I haven't been using it, but I use this slip leash. Mm-hmm.
So goals would be just better relationship on the leash, better handling, and then the reactivity?
Yeah, I just want to get her more comfortable around new people ultimately, so it's not like every time she sees a new person, she feels like she needs to protect me, because it's worse when it's with me. Mm-hmm. Like I've had other people walk her and it's not as bad.
Why don't you just come in with Scout and then just walk her around, and I want to see how she is with you on the leash, and then we'll get started.
Scout, touch! So what would I do?
So you just do like a little leash pressure. So okay. Why don't you use this slip? Okay. So the slip you have on now is like thick. Okay. And so if you have a little bit more, that's why I like using, like, for example, with the prong collars, if I have a smaller prong, it's going to give me more control. Okay. And like with a bigger slip like that, it's not as precision, I find. Okay. So put this one on and then put it just right behind her ears, and then when she does give you pressure and you give her pressure back, that's what you want to do. Because right now what she's doing is you're asking her to do something and then she's checking into other things.
Sure, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So let's heal her forward, and I want you to work on a little bit more precision with the healing. So instead of her sniffing over here and going over here, I want you to keep her engaged. So if she goes over into these areas, into these crates, that's where you're gonna give her a correction. That's where you're gonna give her pressure.
Scout! So there, when I...
Yeah, it would be a pop that way. But you gotta tell her what to do. Okay. So if you say her name, that's not a behavior. You wanna say Scout, what, right?
Scout, heel.
And then you'd pop, and then, yep, good heel.
Yes.
Good heel, perfect. Nice job.
Scout, heel.
Good.
Yeah.
And what I would do is, let's stop with the treats and see how she does just with you. Good, so your engagement's gonna be better when you withhold the treats, because she's gonna keep checking. See how, this is the best she's done. Because once you pay her, the job is done. You know what I mean? It's like paying somebody before they start the job. They're not gonna do as good work. So when you're handling her, do like a whole thing and then end it with food like you just did.
Okay, cool.
Because you're gonna create more engagement with her. So that's, the positive reinforcement is something that I do probably 98% of the time, but when you do it, it's very powerful and you have to be careful on it. So you don't want to Pez dispense a dog out because they're like, thank you, I'm out.
Yeah.
Thank you, I'm out. And that's what she's been doing.
Yeah.
The moment you said, I'm not paying you every single time, she engaged with you the most. It's not necessarily frustration, but she's anticipating food. So she's more locked in on you, which is powerful. If you're handling her for 30 minutes, you may give her 5 pieces, 6 pieces of food, not 35, because she's immediately checking out after you pay her. Let's do this again. And that was a perfect example of when so your heel with her is her at your heels, just like she is now. When you ask her to heel and she says, ooh, this pillar smells, I want to go sniff it, that's where you would give her that quick pop like you just did. And she goes, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And she fell back in line.
Okay.
But you're not going to pay her after for doing that, because she made a mistake and then she got back in place, and all you would have to do is like good heel. You don't have to, like, the jackpot is the food. It's like, okay, you've completed the task, here you go. Mm-hmm. So when she does that, you're not gonna pay her because she didn't do what you wanted her to do. So we're gonna do it again. Okay. And if she slides out of place, you're gonna practice that pop. So I would use your leash to, here, let me see. So there's a difference between a correction and pressure. The correction is that pop. It's a discouragement. It's a disruptor. What she's doing is hey, what's this? Oh, my bad, sorry. What did you want me to do again? And then pressure is going to be just almost constant pressure. Okay. Or even a couple little taps on the leash. Kind of like, hey, come on, get back over here. Yeah. So when she goes that way, instead of saying, hey, sit, because it's unrealistic for a dog to be pulling on the leash and sitting at the same time, just give her a little bit of pressure, get her back in place, and then you could ask her to sit. And then if you want to have her just pop off to the side because she's a little nervous, that's cool.
So usually she would be
reacting.
Yes, like the fear thing right now is not typical. Usually it's the aggressive.
And that could be just because we're not in her area. So when you get to a new location, dogs can get pretty like overwhelmed. And so they're not, just like with kids or with people really, is like you get a kid that's like all over the place, and then you bring them around people and they're shy. Yeah. Like, oh, yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So dogs are like that too a little bit, where if they're overwhelmed with maybe the space or they're not comfortable with the space, they can be a little bit more fearful instead of reactive. And that's okay. We're gonna develop it, as we go. But we gotta work from the ground up. So in a situation like that, like when you ask her to SIT and then she's like, okay, I'm out of here, that's where you would correct her and back into a sit. Okay. So bring her back over and then ask, yeah, that's good. And then slide back into position. There you go, good. She's so used to you hearing you say something and her just be like, just stop. So that's what just happened is you said, hey. So that pop makes a difference, because if you're pulling, you're still enabling the dog to say like, hey, they're almost annoyed with you. Yeah. Where now you're taking a little bit more of an accountability approach of like, hey, what are you doing? Hey you guys, we're doing a giveaway on the Tom Davis Dogster 280C on this video. All you have to do to enter to win is subscribe to my channel, turn on your notification, like this video, and leave a comment down below to enter to win. Yeah, I think as she gets more comfortable here, she might be more reactive, which is good. Sounds weird, but we do want her to be reactive so we can really isolate it and work on it. Right when you start hearing that like build, that's where you can do leave it and then just a little pop.
Leave it.
Yep, and then, so you see how when we were building here and it was taut and we started going forward, that's where you would come out and then, yes, because right when you were here, you were kind of pulling her back. Scout, heel. Good heel. Those are perfect pops. This has to get loose to correct. Okay. I explain it because I fish. And so like when a fish hits a line, it's like do, 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 like that. That's what it is. It's bang, bang, bang. So when she's like there and she's barking and she's doing it out of fear, obviously. She's like, hey, stranger danger, somebody's here. She's alert barking, she's huffing and puffing. And that's where those corrections come in. It's kind of a hybrid of, I want you to use your momentum and don't stop, but that's where handling kind of gets tricky but if she's going that way and you're trying to go that way, you also have to come out and kind of do both at the same time. So we're working on handling and we're working on reactivity, we're working on confidence building, but the biggest project here is just handling properly.
Scout, please. Yes.
Good place.
Good place.
So right when she does it, that's where you, good place. Yep. Yes, good place.
Good.
Good.
Scout, break.
There you go. So let's just walk away and see how she does. We're gonna start working on thresholds just because, so bring her back. So when you turn, I would just face her and then walk backwards.
Stay.
Yeah, there you go. Good. And then give her, yep, bring her back. So I would just hold on to the leash for now. Because it's interesting, right? It's like, yeah, she does it for 45 seconds at home, but she won't do it for 2 seconds here. Stay. And then go to her and then break her.
Break.
Just grab the leash. Break. There you go.
This happens with both of my dogs. After I say good, they don't check in with me, and I'm trying to sort of give them a treat, but they're like off doing something else. I don't want to correct them because they just did a good job, and I'm just trying to like pay them for it, but then they're not like focused on me being the reward system.
I don't know for sure, but it could be your break or your good is just too rewarding where it's, so if you say good and you say break, they're very similar. She really likes the beef. So yeah, give her a little pressure. Yep, and then I would just keep giving her pressure, and then you dropped a couple, but that's okay.
Oh, sorry.
So this is where be the popping.
Okay.
So, yep, and then just keep popping backwards.
Scout,
but you see how you were tight? That's where you would go loose, snap, snap.
Okay.
Because the reason why she fell over is because it was so tight.
Right.
You want to sit there and go like that until she says, okay, fine, you're annoying me, and she comes. Good, that's better. There you go. All right, so now give her a break.
Break.
Okay, so when you're breaking her or you're rewarding her, going back to what you were saying before, is maybe don't be so like, ah, when you break her, because I think she's probably thinking that the break and good are like similar. If you want to reward her, just don't verbal anything. Go over, pay her, then break her.
Got it.
So when you're rewarding, like it would be off, good off. It wouldn't be good off, because then she might run away from me or something. So try to have your reward system, like when you're healing, good heal, not necessarily good heal, because it takes away from the break, it takes away from that fun, but it also doesn't give you an opportunity to compartmentalize them as binary or as black and white, because it's good heal, good heal, break. Where if you're good heal, break, it's different. Hi! Scout's like, yeah, you're here. Here, let me take, what's this one's name again? All right, you guys, if you don't know about the No Bad Dog official members club, it's a subscription members club where you guys are getting the full videos of what you're seeing right here on YouTube. So you guys are seeing the 15, 20-minute videos here on YouTube, and on the subscription club, you're getting the entire video. Sometimes it's over an hour long. You're also getting a lot of unreleased footage that we get and we pull from different seminars and different sessions that we just don't put on here on YouTube. It's also an awesome community of dog owners that are empowering each other. It's a safe place to talk and ask questions about your dogs without getting ridiculed on the internet. I'm really excited and proud of the No Bad Dog members club. Click the link in the description below to join now. All right. Different dog with Hazel around. So why don't you heel, and I'm gonna tune up Hazel quick.
Scout, heel. Yes. I've never successfully handled them together, period.
Okay.
Like, I don't walk them together because it's...
We'll get there. We'll get there. For sure.
Sit.
Nice.
Heel. Sit. Nice. Wow. I have never seen them this good before. If I try and walk them together, it's like, and they're going in different, they're like pulling me, and then they see someone, and then they start hysterically barking and lunging, and like,
That's it.
yeah, literally. Do you think it will be possible to like eventually walk them together.
It's not going to be possible if you don't teach them what's wrong.
Right.
If you're working with somebody who only does positive only training, their only goals and training style is to teach dogs how to do new behaviors. So it would scientifically and technically be impossible to get both of these dogs to walk nicely together on a leash as fast as I did, as sustainable as I did. Where somebody that maybe you worked with before is positive only, it would be impossible for them to do that. Because they don't have anything to discourage stuff.
Yeah.
I just went, nope, this is what we can do, this is what we can't do, boom. Now we have these two calm dogs. People are walking in and out, the gates opening and closing, where your last trainer said it was impossible to walk both of them. So I understand like you would be skeptic if I told you, yes, you can do that. It's the same thing I told these guys before they came in. It's like, I was like, I will be able to walk your dog with one finger in front of other dogs immediately. And it's like, come on. And it's not because I'm good, it's because I've done it long enough to know how to do it. And so my handling is what's making this successful. But if I can tune them up and say, hey, this is what they would be so much happier in that life. So the answer is yes. And I know it's frustrating because the person that you paid with before probably, we talk about this a lot, but it's like they probably were certified and had good reviews and were great, and then they're like, this is impossible, and then I do it and you're like, wait a minute, who's wrong and who's right? It's just their skill sets. Yeah, so we could do it. Now what we're doing is she's gonna grab her other dog. So as you saw last night, this is gonna be the big test with the handling, so we'll see how they do. So what I would do is I would handle them both on 2 separate sides first.
Okay.
So you can work on what they're doing.
Okay, cool.
And I would just, yep, there you go. Get them figured out. Let them know you're in charge. And then when you're ready, heel. This is where your momentum comes in huge. I would choke up on your leash a little bit with both of them. Just keep working it, get the kinks out. There you go, those pops. Yep, shoulders straight, moving forward. Doing good, doing good. Hazel's doing great. Hazel's following suit. Scout's kind of coming over, being opportunistic. That's where you got to get those pops in. There you go.
Sit.
Nice.
Yes.
Wow, they did the same thing. All right, guys, so got the out-of-states in group class right now, and they're all doing really good. You see, right now, actually, Scout's working. So for a lot of these dogs that are in the group classes, they've never met. So I'm really happy with what's going on right here.
Finally, I feel like I'm in control. In 3 days, it's like changed. I mean, I was told that wouldn't be possible for at least 5 years. And I was like, I can't live 5 years like this, and I can't, you know, my dogs weren't happy either. It's not like they're not happy without proper boundaries, and I just didn't know how to do that until now. My world has done a 180. I feel like I finally have the tools that I need to implement change. Never felt like I had that before. And my dogs are really responsive to the training techniques and the equipment. And I seriously cannot be happier with how things went. It's like truly changed everything for me.
So really at the end of the day, guys, the owner just really needed some tune-ups, what to do, what not to do. I find a lot of people who go to maybe other training camps or try to train with somebody, they're not really getting coached on what they should and shouldn't be doing, or they're using a 1 quadrant out of the 4 that are necessary to work with behavior modification. We call those limited dog trainers. What we're doing here at the Upstate Canine Academy, and like a lot of other talented dog trainers out there, we are unlimited trainers. We have an unlimited ability, unlimited tool access to work with the dog that's in front of us to have a trajectory of success. I'm so happy that she came in. These are 2 lovely, lovely, lovely dogs, obviously an owner that cares. And instead of getting rid of her dogs or living in a hellish situation with their dogs constantly pulling, barking, reacting, etc., now these guys have the skills and the know-how to go home and be successful moving forward.